Welcome to day 2 of the 7-day Ultimate Zen Work Warrior Mindset Challenge. I'm glad you're here. In day 1, we learned about unlocking the Zen CEO mind. And in that, we just did part 1. And part 1 was all about understanding the monkey mind. And we are now going to do part 2 of the first secret. Part 2 of the first secret says, put on the Zen CEO mind. Now, before I go there, I have an astonishing secret, in fact, a truth to share with you. This truth is going to change your life forever. I told you about the monkey mind, right? Well, the monkey mind is not a mind. That's right. It is just an imposter. It's not a mind. Then what is it and where does it come from? Because the feelings and the thoughts are very real to us. The feelings of insecurity, the thoughts of fear, and being in a toxic environment or getting manipulated by people is very real. That's true. But then, does the monkey mind really exist? No. The monkey mind is nothing but the thoughts, the insecurities, the fears, the failures, and the frustrations of people around you projected on you. That's right. And I'm going to explain the neuroscience behind it as well right now so that it's very convincing to you and you understand where does it come from. Now, we need to take a walk back in history and especially in evolution to understand this. You see, many years ago, when we were developing as human beings during our evolution, we did not have the capacity to speak. The capacity to speak and communicate did not we did not have that. How did we communicate? We communicated by imbibing the best practices of the strongest people around us. In other words, we learned from our tribe. That's because our survival depended on it. And so we had to learn the behaviors and the thoughts of the tribe. We have to pick up their thoughts. And this helped us to survive. Imagine being in a jungle and you don't know how to speak, your brain is not even developed. All you can do is see what others are doing and then try to do that to survive. So if the strongest member in your tribe did something, then you felt that even that needs to be done by you. And that's because you did not have the full fledged capacity to think abstractly. Now, let's leave the complications. Let's understand what happened. Now, as we were evolving, our brains began to develop a magical, I can call it magical because it's truly like that, cells, neurons. Now, these special brain cells or special neurons, we call them today as the mirror neurons, which are present in our neocortex, which is the brain, the part of the brain which is highly developed. Now, what these mirror neurons do is they imbibe the actions and the thoughts of the people around us, and we too start thinking like the people around us. Now, that is the power of mirror neurons. But there's one more thing about mirror neurons that people do not know, which is very recent, and that is not we don't just pick up the thoughts and the behaviors of people around us, we also pick up the emotions of people around us. And that's why sometimes you feel sad for no other reason but for visiting certain people or visiting certain places because you've picked up their emotions while you came back. That is the power of mirror neurons. And unfortunately, because you are not in control of your mind, because, and that's the reason why what happens is you pick up the insecurities, the fears, the frustrations of people around you, and you believe them to be true. That is why we have confusion. That's why we have catastrophizing. And that's why we have no clarity. Now, let me give you an example. Don't believe me yet. Let me give you one example. And I'm sure you're going to understand with this example. Let me ask you this question. Did you have the fear of the dark? Were you born with that fear? No. You learned how to be afraid of the dark because someone who learned that taught you that. That's right. Someone who learned how to be afraid of the dark taught you that by telling you that when you were the most impressionable, when you were a small child. And that's how you learned how to be afraid of the dark. This is nothing but a classic example of the monkey mind. where you pick up the fears, the insecurities of the people around you because of your mirror neurons. And that's because you don't have knowledge on how to use your mirror neurons. So enough of neuroscience here. I think you have now understood where the monkey mind comes from. The monkey mind is nothing but thoughts, behaviors, and insecurities of people around you, fears and insecurities of people around you. And that's why you have the monkey mind. Now, if the monkey mind is nothing but the thoughts and insecurities of people around us, then what is the Zen mind? What is your Zen CEO mind? The Zen CEO mind is like the sun behind the clouds. If the clouds are your monkey mind, then the sun behind those clouds, ever shining, always clear, and ever burning, is your Zen CEO mind. Now, enough of imageries. Let's come back to what actually it is. Your Zen CEO mind has three important characteristics. Number one, it is the mind which is silent. It is the mind which is serene. Number two, and it is the mind which is servile or your servant. That's right. It is silent, it is serene, and it is servile or your servant. It does what you say. It does what you say. So this Zen CEO mind can be reached. Your question will be, how do I reach there? And what is its main, what does it do? We know today that our creativity is at the best when we are at alpha or theta state in terms of our uh, brain waves. And that is when your Zen CEO mind is most active, which means all creativity, all true problem solving comes from your Zen CEO mind. Remember when you were lost while doing some work and suddenly you were happy while doing that same work? You did not know how the time went by. And you also realize that you have done something significant that day. You solved a significant problem, or you found something, you discovered something. That is your true mind, your Zen CEO mind, in absolute control and power. So this Zen CEO mind of yours is without fear. It's without a beginning and the end. It does not go in loops. It is absolutely clear, and it is a reservoir of solutions. Every top scientist and every person who works and creates something magnificent, even artists for that matter, and the top CEOs are known to function from their Zen CEO mind. That is because they have learned how to access it. So, enough of all of that. Now, in our second day challenge, you must be curious to know as to how can I, how can I access this Zen CEO mind? How can I unlock it? By asking three important questions. Now, if you're excited to know these three important questions by means of which you can unlock the Zen CEO mind right now, today, live with me, then I want you to type in the comments, excited to unlock, excited to unlock. Do it right now. You are going to, in a moment, you are now going to unlock that superpower within you. And this is just day two. We still have 5 more days to go, which means there are more beautiful things I'll be sharing with you, more powerful things I'll be sharing with you. Okay, let's come back to this point. How can you unlock your Zen CEO mind? Asking three important questions. Question number one will silence your monkey mind, it will silence the chatter. Ask this question: what are you thinking right now? Mind, what are you thinking right now? Ask it right now. What did you get? Nothing? That's right. Your mind went silent. That's a powerful trick. When you ask this question, what are you thinking right now? You are actually asking from your free will, which means you are asking a question that only your Zen CEO mind can answer. Because your Zen CEO mind is silent, serene, and servile, which means it is going to listen to you. And since you asked that question, what are you thinking right now? The the ultimate answer is nothing. I cannot think anything at this point of time. So, in a fraction of a second, you have silenced the monkey mind without focusing on it. The biggest problem that people do is they try to give strategies on how to silence the mind, that part of the mind, the monkey mind, which cannot be silenced. It is like trying to catch a monkey. If you want to catch a monkey, you cannot be running behind it. You will never be able to catch the monkey. In the same way, you cannot silence your monkey mind, because it is the nature of the monkey mind, which is nothing but the thoughts and the projections of generations of people projected on you, generations of people who have been afraid, who have not lived up to their potential. It is those vibrations which are thrown at you. You cannot do anything about that. But what you can do is you can change the direction by directly focusing on your Zen mind. Ask this question: what are you thinking right now? And it's silent, right? Doesn't end there. Now comes the part of tapping into your Zen mind and invoking or evoking the creativity within. Ask this question: if all the resources were available to me right now, then what action would I take right now? Second question: if all the resources were available to me right now, then what action would I take right now? You can ask this in the context of your work. Maybe you are stuck in a project. If everything was available to me right now, then what would I do? Now, be careful. Ask this question only after asking question number one. And question number one is what? Can you type in the comments? Mind, what are you thinking? That's right. And then comes the second question, which says, if all the resources were available to me, then what would I do right now? If everything was available to me, what would I do right now? Third question: if everything was possible for me, then what would I do right now? If everything was possible for me, then what would I do right now? Ask these questions, and when you get your answers, it is going to be the answers from your Zen mind, because only your true mind is capable of giving you answers to these questions, because that is its duty. That's what it does. That is what scientists today call as your super consciousness. That is your Zen mind, your super consciousness. Go align yourself with it and ask these questions today. I won't complicate things further. Today's challenge ends over here. Ask these three questions and let me know in the comments what was your aha moment. And go ahead and tag three friends of yours who can benefit from this. Thank you for being with me on this day where we just unlocked secret number one. We have understood now how to put on the Zen mind. Join me tomorrow to unlock secret number two. That's a secret. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.